All right, y'all. So I am still up because you know what? I'm about to throw something in the wash real quick. Which is all good. This will be an interesting conversation to have. And I noticed that I think somebody is trying to leave comments on my videos or whatever, and they're not showing up. I don't exactly know why YouTube is filtering out this person's or these people's comments as spam, but for some reason your comments are getting filtered out. I would hope that you're not sending me anything crazy. So, um, so we have a lot of discussions on here about certain things, and I noticed something, and this is one of the reasons why I keep to myself. I don't contend with, if I ever present a coven on here, it will be people that I probably, sort of linked up with myself and decided that I knew them long enough to trust them to be a part of, my coven. Otherwise, I'm very, very careful about involving myself because I noticed some things. I noticed that people just really do not understand. Um, I think that people get caught up in folly, is what they do. And folly is foolishness. And I wanted to say something. First of all, I wanted to speak directly to the witch community as well as people outside of the witch community. I wanted to speak to the community of witches, like inter witch stuff. And I wanted to say be careful with being too paranoid. We were talking about on the channel Death Magic. I think it was a few days ago. I was talking about that. And I was talking about, whether or not I was afraid to remove death magic from a person. And I was saying that I wasn't. Because to me, death magic is no different from any other curse. That if somebody were to curse you, it could result in, death. Okay. So we had talked about that. But then I also want to talk about people that read the Bible and they become overzealous and they start reading things that they don't really have all of the information about. And so let's get into that first. Let's get into these weird off-putting fantasies about people that hate witches because they don't understand them and they want to kill them. I know that this sounds very cliche, but all witches on this planet are protected by the devil. I like messing with y'all. There's something that is protecting witches because if you look throughout history, people have done a lot of foolish things. If you look at the lore behind witches, you look at the lore and all of the stories that you have heard of whole towns that have gotten sick and died, crops dying, animals dying because of the slaughtering of witches. This has been consistent throughout history. This has been very, very consistent of the ill fates that have been bestowed upon people for murdering witches, okay, in the name of religion Most people that do harm, like when you hear about people that murder witches, and I know there's a lot of propaganda behind witchcraft, especially in other countries. Okay, a lot of the times and this is a lore, this is a thing. If you kill a witch, I have seen people who I have heard about stories of people that have murdered witches and their whole family die. I have heard about that. I have heard about, like, I think that a lot of plagues got started like that. And that's what you always hear about. Like, witches will say things and they will warn people, you know, about doing certain things and they don't listen. And, people's livestock will get sick. Their crops will die. Family members will start getting sick and dying. Okay. This is one of the reasons why I don't teach my children about religion, because I think that religion just completely dumbs people down. This has been consistently what has happened when people have hung witches or burned them or killed them. That people will just start, like their lives just get torn up. And so when you think about that, you think to yourself, this has got to be nature that is protecting witches themselves. Why does nature protect witches? Don't ever try to do actual death magic on a witch. That would be the advice that I would give. Okay, I'm not even talking about magic. We're going to get into that because I've been kind of disturbed by the amount of witches that have came in my chat room and said so and so did death magic on me. So let's talk about witches doing death magic on other witches. The same rules apply to other witches. I don't know what. Same rules apply if you try to do death magic. Don't try to do death magic on a witch, whether or not first of all, I think that if somebody is trying to do like death magic, okay, there's only a few instances where you would need to actually do death magic on a witch. And I'm going to tell you what those instances are. When a witch is disturbing the natural balance of witches and she's causing way too many problems, then you may be permitted to do death magic on her. But it would have to be a lot of atrocities that witch would have to commit. You do not do death magic on a witch. You don't do it. It would be like, just doing it will create negative shit in your life. Okay, now destruction, maybe a curse, maybe to bind the witch, but just to go, I'm a witch and she's a witch and I don't like her, so I'm gonna light a coffin and try to kill her. You are barking up the wrong tree. That is the dumbest thing ever. It is not wise to do that. Even if you're a witch by bloodline, the same rules apply to you. as it does if somebody tried to kill a witch. Okay? That's the dumbest thing ever. Okay, I could see. Now, I think that the only time that it's permissible, like I said, permissible to do death magic on it, where I wouldn't even say permissible because you can do whatever the hell you want. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't do it. It's ill advisable. I know people right now that are cursed because they keep doing death magic on people. It almost always backfires. I don't exactly know why people still don't get that. You keep doing something and you have all these ill fates happening to you. Why would you try to continuously make the same mistake over and over again? Okay. Now, like I said, if a witch threatens your life or your livelihood or is threatening to kill your children or to do harm to you, then I think that it would be okay to say, hey, your spirits might take that person out before they're able to do harm to you. But for you to be like on youtube.com just throwing shit at people because you want to be the big kahuna of witches, you're going to find yourself in a very, very precarious position. Even though we don't really like to use movie references, but it's the truth. Look at that movie, The Craft. Look at what Nancy did. Nancy tried to kill a natural witch, and Sarah was such a sweet person. She even shared her magic with them, and they ended up trying to kill her. And you see, Nancy ended up in an insane asylum. The world has got to stop picking on witches. Okay. Now, I'm extremely concerned about male witches, okay, because I just recently caught wind that a Freemason, I saw somebody that's supposed to be a part of Freemasonry that was encouraging attacks on my home. And that is a huge concern to my grandmother, who is also a Freemason. She was a female Mason. She was a Eastern Star, wondering why a Freemason is attacking her grandchild. Okay. So, people need to be very, very careful on what they're doing. Stop it. Like, you know what? And I think the reason why other witches do it to other witches is because they get paranoid or either they get delusional. They can, somebody is listening to your rituals. Somebody is always sitting right across from you or on each side of you, and they're just looking at you and they're like, what are you doing? Now, why witches and spiritual people think that they can do a disservice to one another, but then when it comes to people outside of paganism or Satanism, people outside of that are somewhat only the only ones that are going to be held responsible. You're kidding yourself. And this is something that you should not be doing. You don't know what this earth is using that witch for. Now, if you see a witch that's just going around doing stupid stuff, doing evil stuff to people, and it's like, what are you doing? And this, evil stuff is manifesting in people's lives. But otherwise, even back, like they talk about the Crusades like it was a good thing. No, those people that killed those witches, their families became sick for several like they cursed their whole bloodline by doing that to witches. This is something that you can find in the history books. So I'm trying to figure out why in 2022 we have that problem. I'm talking about witches specifically. And most witches are going to have a certain dialect about themselves. You're going to be able to tell that they're a witch because it's going to be something very, very unique about them. Many witches have the classic mole on the nose or either the chin, and you are identifying that witch, and you are trying to either kill them through knife, gun, rope, or some kind of stupid ass ritual, and you're gonna end up like everybody in your family's gonna start dropping off like damn flies. And spirit will move it that way for that witch. Like a witch is really seen as an innocent baby a lot of the times because they've been attacked because of ignorance. Okay, we all know that they got Bibles and it says never suffer a witch to live. Do you know the aftermath? Do you know the after earth of that? Do you know what happened? Something cursed those people. In fact, if y'all remember when y'all remember it was probably like maybe about 3, 4 months ago. Over there, it happened over in Kansas. It's about 200 cows that died. They just dropped dead. Okay, and I think that had something to do with a witch being murdered, and people threatening children of witches, and witches cursing other people's children and all that crap. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter if like I said, if a witch comes on this website or somewhere else, you need to welcome that. And as long as that witch is not trying to do harm to you, okay? Long as that witch ain't trying to do no harm to you, it's probably a good idea to just leave that witch alone. I don't exactly know what the deal is with that, what the obsession is. I personally think that it is about the hatred of women. Let's keep it a buck. There are a lot of men out there that hate women. I don't know why either. Well, that's the same. I don't understand why women hate men. Okay, be angry at a man. You can, question, what happens, what's going on. But for you to just hate men, that makes no sense to me. Okay. Y'all got to think. Okay. Quit talking about killing a witch. Quit talking about it because spirit can hear you and they don't like you. That witches' spirits don't like you. Okay. You ever heard of the saying, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all? Quit having conversations about killing witches. It's sick. Okay. Spirit can hear you and they don't like you. And they'll continue to bring bad luck and bad juju into your life. It's exactly what happened to those people. Okay. And then, you start having family members dying and then, or things start happening in your life and you want to blame it on that witch. No, you need to go and talk to spirit. You need to find out from spirit. Okay. What's going on? Okay. This whole stupid thing on YouTube where witches want to attack each other. That's the dumbest thing ever. Very, very foolish. Okay. Very, very foolish. It is. But we have a lot of that. Okay. People need to stop doing that. Okay. Stop attacking witches. Stop. You know what? In fact, let go of your obsession, period. Please. Honestly. Let go of that obsession. And stop trying to terrorize us. Stop. Okay. For any reason. We are not like regular women. We're not. We're not like regular women. We're not. Okay. Which I feel that all women are extraordinary. Okay. And I feel that men are too. Okay. But it's gotta stop. The craziness has got to stop. 9 times out of 10, if you have a problem with a witch, her spirits are watching and listening to everything that you're saying. Okay. And everybody ain't a good reader. Everybody don't know how to read themselves. Some of y'all will read these cards and you can tell that well, I think that if you send somebody bad energy that belongs to you, why should another person have to take your bad energy? You know what I'm saying? So, um yeah, that's the stupidest thing ever. Look it up in history, read about it. They don't talk about it because hell, I guess it's natural selection, but a lot of those people that went out and slaughtered all those witches. Oh God. And it didn't take long either. It did not take long for those people to suffer an ill fate. It didn't. It didn't take long. Okay. So, people get these ideas in their heads and it ain't good. Okay. And like I said, it's been a very long history of witches being extremely helpful. They're more helpful now than what, us witches are more helpful now than what we've ever been. Okay. And I think that the wars between the witches is kind of stupid too, because Now you done got caught up into grandstanding and you done got caught up in your ego, which is really sad. No, I'm the supreme. I am the supreme. I am the supreme. I'm supreme. I'm the supreme. Everybody is supreme to themselves. Like people done, it seemed like, they don't, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you watch witchy movies or you watch certain things on TV, sometimes just like the Bible, you got to take what makes sense and you got to take what makes common sense. And then you got to look at something else and say, well, may want to question that. Okay. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll present some evidence of this too. People, throughout history have messed with witches and found out the hard way. And it's very sad. And, that's how God sometimes lays down the law. Because to be honest with you, even if you are a Christian or if you're one of these mainstream religions, you're not supposed to be judging people anyway. You're not supposed to be judging people. Who are you? You're not God. Okay? So I'm just saying, I mean, it seemed like it's obvious common sense to me. Okay? You're never going to win a battle with a witch either. Stop. 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 Listen. Listen, even if you're a witch, a lot of them want to get into spiritual battle with each other and stuff. Just stop it. It's redundant at this point. Okay, it's gotten very, very redundant at this point, and it's stupid. Okay, if you keep trying to make yourself a problem, that let me tell you something. The one thing about me is that, again, you can't have an adult conversation with some people because they act like little spoiled babies and children. Okay, they want to be spoiled and throw a temper tantrum. Okay, going through all these changes. I keep getting these ghost comments to where it's a comment there, but it's not there. It's like, get over it, get over yourself. Okay, and you know what I'm saying? So I just, I don't know, um I like the witch community on YouTube, but there's certain aspects of it that I cannot freaking stand. It just makes some aspects of the community of witches on YouTube just makes witches look dumb. Very, very dumb. Just saying. Okay. And it is refreshing to see, witches putting up quality content. It really is. And so I'm very grateful for that. When I see witches putting up good content, honestly, because the rest of it just that it just looks like stupidity to me. But yeah, I would be careful with, if you're a witch, trying to do death magic and all that stuff on other witches. And really, honestly, the whole thing with the with the witch hunts, and we must all of that is a mistake. Ain't no man ever went to heaven for killing a witch. Now I will tell you that when you hear about any stories of witches, is usually where the witch is very evil. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think that if it's an evil witch, like somebody that is trying to do harm to you, like I'm talking about cause you to get sick, or do anything like that to you, and you feel like you feel some type of way, then I think that you got to do what you got to do at your own discretion, as far as like, but don't be trying to terrorize, torment, we gonna kill you. Hey, listen, those things, that like, no, no, hun, no. If you don't have here's a good rule of thumb. If you don't have nothing good to say about that witch and she's not doing a damn thing to you, then just don't say nothing at all. Because there is no behind the witch's back. Her spirits are listening to you and watching you. Okay? And so, and quit blaming witches for, if something happens, quit blaming us for everything that happens. Okay? When after they killed all them witches, nature literally attacked them like it was an act of nature. That ain't that witch's fault. Stop hating on witches. Stop hating on us. You would never even see the blazing eyes of Lucifer if you would leave people alone. You would never see that red-eyed demon if you would leave people the hell alone. Okay? And that's just real sad. Like when you see stuff like that happen, that it's happening all the time. That's one of the reasons why, if you notice, people don't say nothing to witches, because, to be honest with you, they're pretty much harmless for the most part. You don't see nobody saying nothing to witches except for stupid people. In fact, a lot of the witches are preparing for this eclipse coming up. Whenever there's an eclipse coming up, certain things will get in. Really, to be honest with you, don't become a nuisance of a witch. Then you start being a nuisance. That's pretty annoying. Okay. All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I mean, I guess you can take this discussion however you want to take it. Okay, I gotta go. Hail Lucifer. Y'all have a good one. Have a happy Saturday. Blessed be.